Hey everyone, I'm Stephanie. I'm a book loving, notebook hoarding literacy teacher educator on a mission to change lives one book and one notebook at a time. And this is the Get Literate podcast, a podcast where we explore the power of reading and writing to cultivate a life we love. Each week, I offer a bit of bibliotherapy and share 3 books you need to know about on a bookish theme to fuel our reading hearts and help us grow through what we go through. But that's not all. I also invite you to extend those bookish themes into your own life through notebooking, lifelong learning, and creativity to experience the life-changing magic of reading in our lives. And the best part? Each episode is only 20 minutes or less, so you can spend less time listening and more time reading. Now, on to today's episode. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of the Get Literate podcast. I'm Stephanie Athenito, and I am here today with 3 picture books that have adult lessons we all need. Now, when I think back on my reading life when I was a little girl, there is one particular book that stands the test of time. I consistently remember this book. Remember reading it, turning the pages, the way I felt reading it. It is blazed in my memory. And that book is The Monster at the End of This Book. Do you know this book? Do you love this book too? I adored this book as a child. And I truly think that this book is the reason I am the reader I am today. Because Grover, who narrates this book, literally speaks in the first person to the reader, telling them, please don't turn the page. Oh my goodness, you turned the page. What have you done? Grover showed me right from the start that I was in control of my reading and that reading could literally bring me right into the pages of the book. I could feel things. I could be involved. I determined where the book went next. And I approached every book after The Monster at the End of This Book with that same expectation, that books would be amazing, that books would be enticing, that books would teach me something, that I was in control of what I got out of my reading life. And The Monster at the End of This Book, well, it's a picture book. And as we grow older, picture books tend to fall by the wayside in our reading lives. We read lots of picture books as children, or rather, we likely listen to lots of picture books as children. We read them to our own children. We share them with students in our classrooms. But rarely do adults sit down and think, I'm going to pick up a picture book and read it today. And I'm here today to tell you that's exactly what I think you need to do. But it's also a little tongue-in-cheek because we just started the 3rd quarter of the year. I had a planning party with my Get Literate community, which is my kind of private members-only community where we dive deeper into our reading and writing lives. And as I got ready for that, I went to my reading log. Now, my reading log is a digital Google spreadsheet. I love tracking my reading life. I track titles, I track authors, genres, the format of the book, my ratings of the book, who recommended the book to me. I love tracking that information to get an in-depth, accurate look at my reading life so that I can make it better, because I know that making my reading life better makes my actual life better. But when I took a look at my reading logs so far for 2022, and I glanced at those beautiful graphics that Google creates instantly for me from my entries, I was struck by one particular thing. I did not have hardly any picture books represented in my reading life. And I knew that was false because I have read a significant amount of picture books this year. I teach a children's literature course every summer, and we read a lot of picture books together. But for some reason, those picture books never made it onto my reading log. And it's not because I don't think they count as reading. It's not because I don't value them as reading. I really have no idea why I didn't think to put all of those books I was just reading for fun, just reading really quickly on my reading log. I know they count, I know they matter, and I'm ready to add them to my reading log more regularly. Hence this episode. With 3 picture books, I think you need to add to your reading life and to your reading log too. And as a side note, my reading log can be your reading log. You can download it for free on my website at alitlife.com. And you'll see it's quick and easy to enter your book entries and then instantly see those beautiful results. But moving on, I know that I need to better capture the picture books that I bring into my life, into my reading log. And I thought, what better time to recommend 3 picture books for you to do the same. Now, these 3 picture books are books that you could certainly read with children, but they are books that I think adults need to read regardless of the little people around them. They are 3 picture books with adult lessons we all need. And I think they're all lessons that we could all use right now. So first up, with my first picture book with adult lessons I think we need, is called The Circles All Around Us by Brad Montague. Now, you might already know Brad Montague and not know it, but Brad Montague is the creator of Kid President, that delightful collection of videos featuring that adorable little boy who sends us all big life lessons. I love all of the Kid President videos. I listen to them often. I share them often. And so when I heard that Brad Montague had a picture book, I had to dig in. And once I saw it, I was even more grateful that I did. The Circles All Around Us is this amazingly beautiful book with a big lesson of how we are here in life to grow. And it tells us essentially that when we're born, we have a little circle, a little bubble of life around us. And at first, it's pretty small. It's mom, it's dad, it's our caretakers, and our immediate family. But as we grow, our circle grows. We build relationships with new people, whether that's new adults or new children. We start to learn new things in our community and about the world around us. And slowly our circles begin to grow larger and larger and larger. Now, sometimes growing those circles seems wonderfully fun and delightful and positive. But sometimes growing those circles can feel scary or uncomfortable or hard, but both are needed. And what I love the most is that as we grow, yes, our circles to a certain degree automatically get larger, but the book has this beautiful message that we actually can control at any time what our circle is and how big the circle we draw for ourselves is. We can make it larger. We can step out of the circle and then draw a new one for ourselves. It's a great lesson that we are here to grow and learn and to connect with others. And we don't want to stop that, right? We want those circles to keep getting larger and larger and larger. And so it's a beautiful reminder that we are here to do just that. And that as we widen those circles, we widen our ideas, we widen our perspectives, and we widen the way we act with other people in the world. More kindness, more empathy, more inclusivity, all good things. So, The Circles All Around Us by Brad Montague. It's a great book when you need a kick in the pants to grow, or you want to celebrate growth in someone else, birthdays, first day events, graduation gifts. It's a milestone book that is certainly going to put an impression on your heart. Now, next up, my goodness, this book is a special one. This book was published fairly recently, and it is definitely popular in the reading circles. And that book is called The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse by Charles Mackesy. Oh, this book. This book is so beautifully written and so beautifully sketched with the bare minimum of colors just to bring the story to life that you can't help just tumble into the pages. So this book is about as you would guess, a boy, a mole, a fox, and a horse who are pretty much just kind of going on an adventure through life together and discover some pretty important life lessons inside some pretty simplistic language, statements, and images. This is a story that would entertain children, yes, but it also has huge life lessons for adults. When I read this book for the first time, I cried. I really, truly got tears in my eyes because the lessons that Charles Mackesy was trying to show us were these universal lessons of love and acceptance and just being enough. And that message of just being enough is a message I think we need to hear more of. But because the words are so beautiful yet plain, because the pictures are sparse yet with just enough color, you end up going into Charlie Mackesy's world, but then into your own head of how can you apply those lessons? How can you listen to him? Know that you're enough. Know that you're okay. Know that there is love. Know that there is a place for you in your own life. It's almost impossible not to make that immediate connection. And this is a book that I imagine is going to be gifted over and over and over again. And so far, it's the only picture book that I haven't gifted to a child first. And instead, I've gifted it to adults and friends, people that I know needed to hear this message as much as I did. And the best part is if you head online to Charles Mackesy's website, you can download prints and note cards and stationery and all sorts of things to keep that message front and central in your own life. Plus, it comes in this really beautiful package with some great stamps that are fun to add to a collection. Now, third, the last book I am here to share is a wonderful book when you need a bit of a perspective shift. When you're coming out of a hard time, perhaps a pandemic, and you need to change the way you think. This book is called 10 Beautiful Things by Molly Beth Griffin. In this delightfully beautiful, heartwarming book, Lily and her grandmother are going on a very long car ride to Iowa, to the grandmother's home from Lily's old home. Now, Lily doesn't want to leave, and there is a family circumstance that has dictated that Lily is going to be better off in grandma's home. And so Lily is having a hard time adjusting. Now, at first, Lily is quite negative about the trip. She only sees the bad weather and the cloudy sky and the slush all around her. But her grandmother challenges her to find 10 beautiful things on the way to her grandmother's house, unbeknownst to her, to help her shift her mindset and change her perspective. And that's exactly what Lily does. She starts to see beauty in unexpected places. And not the things that she could get, but the beautiful moments that she can experience, like the smell of spring mud, the cloud that she spots that is shaped like a swan, right? So she learns over the course of this road trip that there are beautiful things hiding. They are waiting for us. We simply just need to notice them. And the 10th beautiful thing, which I won't give away and spoil the ending, is probably the most beautiful thing of all. So this is a book when you need a perspective shift. This is a book when you need a kick in the pants to find out what's good in your life and to realize what's already there and figure out if you just need to see it. It's also a great book if you're going through something hard and you just want to be able to know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel and that perhaps you are the one in control of turning it on. That's what 10 Beautiful Things by Molly Beth Griffin can do for readers. So there are 3 picture books with big adult life lessons I think you need to know about. And how can you bring this bookish theme to life in your own life? Well, obviously, I want you to read all of them. Start with 1, move to book 2, head to book 3, and just challenge yourself to add picture books to your reading lineup. Look at your TBR stack for the summer. Are there any picture books there? And if you read picture books, are they represented on your reading log, whether that's a digital log like mine or a handwritten list in your notebook? If they are, celebrate. Add a few more this summer. And if there aren't any picture books on your log yet, then challenge yourself to do just that this summer and add a book or 2 or 3 to your summer TBR. You can then keep them in your own library. You can share them with the children around you, or you might even gift them or become a book fairy and leave them in a free little library so that other adults and children can enjoy them too. So that's it for this episode. As always, I would love for you to share your titles. What are your favorite picture books that you think every adult needs to read? You can comment online. You'll find the show notes at alitlife.com, and I'm on @AfanitaLit at all of your favorite social media channels. I'd love to know what picture books are on your TBR so that I can add them to mine. Happy reading, everyone. Thanks for listening to today's episode of the Get Literate podcast. You'll find links to all the books, resources, and ideas mentioned in the show notes and at www.alitlife.com. You'll also find additional inspiration for your reading and writing life there, like book lists, notebooking ideas, personalized book recommendations, and an invitation to join my Get Literate members community. Each month, we take a deep dive into one bookish theme and work to bring it to life in our own lives. You'll get a monthly bibliotherapy book calendar with a book recommendation for every day of the month, bonus episodes, live book club sessions, and much more. Learn more at www.getliterate.co.